budget on February 1st, Reliance Capital's Madhu Kela was in conversation with Vallabh Bhanshali, chairman of Enam Securities, to get a sense of what the street is expecting from the government.
Just to start the conversation, I can't help but talk about the most discussed topic of last 3 months, that is Notebandi or demonetization, as we may call it. So a lot is being discussed, merits, demerits, and we are, at least from the ground, we are hearing things are slowly but gradually they are stabilizing. So in this entire thing, what is your take as to what will it do to India's story in the medium to long term, and what are some of the hidden positives which are not yet being discussed of this demonetization?
We must recognize that a popular government, more likely than not, will act politically more than anything else. And particularly someone who is a leader of Mr. Modi's stature, sure. His understanding of grassroots, ground level, etc. is phenomenal, as he is showing to the whole world. So I think when he took a call on demonetization, he really assessed it more from the common man's perspective. I think I rate demonetization a success despite all the trouble that we have gone through, despite the flip-flop in rules, etc., that the government had to calibrate virtually on a daily basis. So there are certain advantages that have accrued, and which I think are phenomenal, absolutely. That every single rupee has an address now. They know where it has come from and where it will go.
Sure. Well, we know that the private capex has been quite muted, and since you also interact with a lot of private entrepreneurs, at least I don't see that private capex coming back in that sense in a hurry, at least the next 12-18 months. So the government has to take the lead. What do you think fiscally and prudently it is possible to kickstart the economy, which we should expect from the government specifically, since we are coming off some kind of a slowdown in the last 1 quarter, partly also because of demonetization. So what should we expect on the fiscal front from the government?
See, in this country, every rupee that the government spends comes from the budget.
That's right.
And the budget account is submitted to the nation every year. And to expect that something can happen outside that budget is completely baseless.
Sure.
As far as the government is spending all what it says it will spend on the OPEX side or the CAPEX side is all what the government can do. Within that, if the government fails to push those projects which has announced, then I would say that, well, more can be done. And I believe that at least in 16-17, you will find, this is my understanding, that the government has spent virtually every rupee it promised that it will spend.
That's right.
And therefore, whether it be road sector, railway sector, defense sector, all the other sectors, I think a lot of expenditure has happened.